now. ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
And tonight, a city in crisis. Protests continuing on the streets of Baltimore. But for a second night, those protests remained peaceful. Some are lingering on the streets well past curfew, but no clashes with police. Now, there are major revelations emerging about the death of Freddie Gray.
First on 7, multiple law enforcement sources tell our Brad Bell that Freddie Gray's spinal injury happened inside that transport van. More on that in a moment.
Tonight, the police investigation into the deadly arrest is in the hands of the state prosecutor. And late word of the autopsy report coming out, and that report could be completed as soon as tomorrow, is what we're now hearing.
Team coverage of the case and the protests tonight as well. We begin with Jay Korf. He has the exclusive details about this investigation. Jay?
Well, a huge development from ABC 7's Brad Bell. Sources are telling him the focus is now not on what happened outside that police transport van, but what happened inside those critical moments. We're also learning the response that law enforcement is going to have if protests get big this weekend. Thursday night, Baltimore and Maryland law enforcement leaders announced they will enforce an evening curfew through the weekend and that additional police will be brought in if needed.
Please observe the curfew, make it easier on all of us. We want this to end peacefully, and we've allowed all the peaceful protests to happen. We want that to happen. People have a right to express their opinion. We support that.
Earlier in the day, police submitted their findings in the death of Freddie Gray to prosecutors. Multiple police sources familiar with the investigation tell ABC 7's Brad Bell that Gray's fatal neck injury did not happen around the time these cell phone images were recorded outside the van. Those sources say the fatal impact occurred when Gray's head hit the back of the transport van while in transit. Sources tell ABC 7 a mark on Gray's head matches a bolt inside the van. Sources say Gray's hands were cuffed and behind his back, his legs shackled. Who is to blame remains central to a community on edge and prosecutors who now have to decide what, if any, charges will be filed. As for the medical examiner and police, they are not commenting on these latest developments.
As we shared this morning when we turned the case over to the state's attorney, they now have the ball. We're under their direction, and they will answer all questions that are pertaining to the case.
Back alive, as you can see, National Guardsmen doing a fantastic job of protecting Baltimore's City Hall. I should note the real big thing that people are wondering, when are prosecutors going to finish their investigation? They're doing an independent one. And when will they, or will they at all, charge the police officers involved? We're waiting for that word. The other big thing is there's also a federal probe going on. Live in Baltimore, Jay Korf, ABC 7 News.
All right, thank you, Jay. Yes, you're right. Probes are going underway right now, but the press for answers not letting up. Tonight, peaceful protesters marched to Baltimore City Hall. More rallies and gatherings are planned in the coming days. Tom Rousey continues now our team coverage. He's live in Baltimore. Tom, what did you see from the crowds there tonight?
Things were largely peaceful, though we did have some tense moments a short time ago. Let me set the scene for you right now here in West Baltimore. You see, we do still have a lot of police officers here, but it's nothing like it was about a half hour or so ago. Things got a little tense. A lot of folks ignored the 10 p.m. curfew tonight. Police formed a line all along the street here and then started advancing where some protesters had remained after 10 o'clock. But after that, the police drew back. Then they dispersed their line, and now things are peaceful for the second straight night. For the second straight night, protesters marched. They finished in the neighborhood hardest hit Monday. Earlier, a smaller crowd than Wednesday rallied in the rain outside City Hall.
How can the police their own?
Many here vowed they would never believe claims saying Gray died of a head injury inside the police van. They think this shows the real reason he died.
We've seen the video. We know what happened. So why does it take them so long to tell us a lie? We knew the lie was coming.
The protesters marched throughout the city. Like Wednesday, organizers worked to keep things peaceful. Meanwhile, near the intersection where the protest ended, the CVS looted and burned Monday sits boarded up.
I've been here for about 4 years. and I go to CVS every day.
But Tara Griffin and many in her building have lost the store they used for drugs and groceries. Seniors were hard hit Monday. On the east side, a future senior affordable living complex was burned, and here on the west, they're left without their drugstore.
We're hoping that they rebuild it. That's what we're hoping for.
And this behind me is Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenues, which has been the epicenter of so much activity this week. And look, right here, so close to it, this is the boarded up CVS. Miss Griffin, who you heard from in the story, she and a whole lot of other seniors live in that building right there. Literally, it's attached to the CVS by bricks. You can only imagine how much they depended on this place, and it's not open anymore. Reporting live in West Baltimore, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Well, the protest spread to Philadelphia tonight, where the crowd clashed with police for a short time. Tonight's protest was called Philly is Baltimore. It turned chaotic when the sun went down and police tried to hold back the crowd of thousands there. The march interrupted traffic, with some drivers saluting the protesters and others expressing frustration. There is no curfew in Philadelphia, so that rally continued well into the night. Our sister station in that city reports protesters banged on the doors of the Federal Detention Center, chanting, "You are not alone."
The police investigation into Freddie Gray's death is in the hands of prosecutors now. They're still weighing the findings. ABC 7 is watching the situation very closely, so stay with us for continuing live team coverage throughout. Allison.